Hi, I'm Roland Hassel. I'm the chair of Sparke Helmore. The role of the chair is to set the strategy for the firm, working with the board. And a really big part of our strategy is our people. And a really big part of our people is our graduate intake. We've got a dedicated focus on the cohort of people that form our graduate intake. They're so important to us for a number of reasons. One, you're pretty smart, and they bring great legal skills to the firm. But I think one of the most important things is what they bring in terms of spirit, energy, and enthusiasm to our culture. And at Sparks, we really pride ourselves on our culture. We're dedicated to our clients, we respect each other, and we have fun in what we do. We really support each other. And as a cohort of grads, you add so much to that. We've worked hard on our graduate program. We select people based on who they are, not what they are. They come from all walks of life. We bring people from amazing different backgrounds, and everyone contributes in a way and brings a real piece of themselves to the firm, and that makes us better.
I started at Sparks as a summer clerk, and I entered the grad program through that process. I've now been here many years, and when I reflect on what caused me to join in the first place, when I was trawling through all of those firms and the grad application process, Spark stuck out to me because it was an employer of choice for women then, and it continues to be an employer of choice for women now. And that is really something that has been key to my career progression too, strong female leadership. And we are big proponents of diversity and inclusion here. And I'm thrilled that our partnership is now over 40% women. So that's one of the values that was important for me during that application process. And I think it helps for grads who are struggling to make decisions about where to apply or which firm to ultimately choose, if you reflect on what your values are and whether there is some alignment in those of the firm that you're considering joining, because I think most reputable firms are going to be able to give you great legal experience, but not all of them are necessarily going to be able to give you the culture that you might feel comfortable in and that you might thrive in.
My name's Hugo. I'm a lawyer in the Corporate Advisory and Mergers and Acquisitions team at Sparke Helmore in Brisbane. The bulk of my role currently is assisting clients across a broad range of matters, including M&A transactions, corporate advisory and governance matters. I got into law when I finished high school and I wasn't really sure what I was going to do with my life. A lot of people when I was growing up had recommended I pursue law, and some role models I looked up to throughout my life had all studied law at some point. I also love the idea of getting paid to argue with people.
Hi, my name is Ella and I'm a graduate in the Technology, Cyber and Privacy team in the Melbourne office. So what was my journey to law? Well, both my parents were lawyers, so from a young age I decided I definitely did not want to pursue law as a career. I initially had my heart set on psychology. I completed my Bachelor of Arts at the University of Melbourne, majoring in media comms and psych. And after completing that, I decided to pursue honours, but before doing so, I took a gap year. That gap year happened to be 2020. So not being able to travel, I decided to volunteer at a few mental health programs to get me ready for my career ahead, or so I thought. And during this time, there were a lot of staff shortages, and there was a 6 month wait list to train me up. And so I decided to volunteer at the Older Persons Legal Clinic at the Newcastle Uni. And it was really here that I discovered the meaningful impact legal assistance can have on vulnerable individuals. And I found that impact to be quite tangible, and it really resonated deeply with me. So when I moved back to Melbourne, I enrolled in the Juris Doctor at Monash University, and I guess the rest, as they say, is history.
My journey into law was that from a young age, I knew that I was interested in being part of the legal system. And then when I went to university and undertook my Bachelor of Laws, I really found a love for being able to advocate for other individuals and being a part of a system that helps community as a whole.
I was fortunate enough to take a job in the Newcastle CLDR team at Sparke Helmore when I was in my second last year of uni, which gave me some fantastic hands-on experience into litigation and corporate law, which is known for, and Sparke Helmore itself known for its great reputation in the Newcastle region. When I graduated, I was lucky enough to be offered an opportunity to move into the Brisbane M&A team, where I've worked ever since and I'm loving it. I personally love the intense and deal-oriented nature of corporate transactions. Sparks is great with this, as despite the intensity of some of our work, all the senior lawyers are super approachable and have time for juniors and my dumb questions. I would highly recommend starting at Sparks to anyone as a grad who is interested in getting into corporate law or private practice in general.
I initially joined Spark as a paralegal in the government team, and it was here that I truly began to appreciate the community and culture at the firm, which I found to be incredibly friendly, supportive, approachable, and dedicated. So it was an easy decision for me when I saw the advertisement for a graduate position in Jason Kwan's Technology, Cyber and Privacy team. And that was an area of law that had always intrigued me, partly due to the subjects I'd undertaken at uni and also due to past experiences I'd had in the area. Now, as a graduate, I absolutely love my role. My team is so supportive, and I have the opportunity to contribute to a lot of the work we undertake in a very meaningful way. The work that we undertake is diverse, which is, it's fun, it's exciting. It ranges from commercial contracting to privacy and regulatory advice. And the client base that we have is also diverse. But a common theme is that it is a lot of different companies implementing innovative technology, which makes it very fun to engage with.
At university, I discovered I had an interest in public and regulatory law. And after taking an internship at another law practice, I discovered I also really liked working in private practice. So when applying to Sparke Helmore, who has a great public and regulatory team with lots of government clients, it seemed like a perfect fit. Then during the recruitment process, I met the lovely people who work here. They're supportive and really emphasize the importance of graduate first. So that means being a part of all the matters from the beginning and not being put to the side just because you're a junior.
At Sparks, we take the work seriously, but we don't take ourselves too seriously, and we care about supporting each other. And I think that's what separates us from a lot of other players in the market, and that's what's kept me here for over 12 years.
So my time at Sparks has been an extraordinary experience in that I was given an opportunity when I was the equivalent of a grad. I'd come out of university and I hadn't been that successful. But over time, I was put in different practice groups, different locations, and over 30 years, I've worked myself into a position where I'm now chair. And all of that has been because of the people that work here that make me want to stay.